We could go one way or the other, and we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. You know, they came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell, and they complain and do nothing but bitch, we don't want them in our country. Let them go back to where they came from and fix it. Yeah.
On Tim Walz, Mr. President, do you think he should resign over the fraud scandal in his state?
And who should?
Tim Walz, over the fraud scandal in his state.
Look, I think the man's a grossly incompetent man. I thought that from the day I watched J.D. destroy him in the debate. I was saying, who was more incompetent, that man or my man? I had a man and he had a man. They were both incompetent, and I had a man and a woman. I thought she was very incompetent too, but now she's leading the field, and I think she's leading the field in this for the nomination. Anyway, look, that's up to them. That's up to the Democrats.
Imagine walking into a White House event expecting a standard political rundown, policy notes, diplomatic language, maybe a polite jab or two. Instead, you get Donald Trump launching into a verbal wildfire that jumps from war casualties to cocaine labs to blasting Ilhan Omar and Somalia with some of the harshest lines ever spoken inside the building. The media froze, the audience blinked, and the internet, it detonated. Today, we break down the 10 most explosive and jaw-dropping moments that turned a routine event into a political earthquake. Trump begins by describing the war abroad as crazy, pointing to 25,000 to 30,000 soldiers wiped out every month. He compares the casualties to half a football stadium being killed repeatedly. It's a vivid, brutal picture meant to shock his audience into attention. He insists none of it would have ever happened with me, using the contrast to position his leadership as a barrier to chaos. If you thought that was intense, wait until he jumps to the next target with zero hesitation. When asked about potential land strikes, Trump casually replies that if a country, any country, is producing drugs like fentanyl or cocaine and sending them to the U.S., they're subject to attack. He even jokes about Colombia making cocaine and selling us their cocaine, saying the U.S. appreciates it very much. It's half sarcasm, half warning, delivered with unmistakable bite. But that was just foreplay. The next swing goes straight at Venezuela. He claims Venezuela emptied their jails, sending murderers, drug dealers, and even people from mental institutions into America. He calls it real bad and says the U.S. is removing them now. It's a dramatic narrative implying deliberate sabotage by another government. Whether exaggerated or not, Trump tells it with the confidence of someone reading classified documents aloud. Then he pivots, and this time his target is domestic. When asked if Governor Tim Walz should resign, Trump instantly fires back that Walz is a grossly incompetent man. He recounts watching him get politically destroyed and claims something is wrong with him. It's personal, blunt, and unfiltered, showing Trump's willingness to scorch political opponents without softening the flames. And then he jumps continents with one of his harshest claims yet. He describes Somalia as having no anything and says people there just run around killing each other. It's blunt and sweeping, painting an entire nation as structurally non-existent. This sets the stage for his next comments that ignited nationwide controversy and headlines within minutes, because next he goes directly after Ilhan Omar by name. He says he has watched Ilhan Omar for years, accusing her of complaining about the Constitution and saying the United States is a bad place. He claims she hates Jewish people and hates everybody, calling her a real terrible person. His tone suggests deep personal resentment, not just political disagreement. But then he goes even further, and this is the part that sets social media on fire. Trump claims Somali groups ripped off that state for billions of dollars annually and contribute nothing, citing 88% welfare. He frames it as theft on a massive scale, painting an image of a state being drained by an entire group. It's bold, inflammatory, and guaranteed to spark instant debate. And then he drops the line heard around the world. He says those who object are just being politically correct, adding their country is no good for a reason. He repeats, we don't want them in our country, and says the U.S. is at a tipping point. He warns America could go the wrong way if it keeps taking in garbage into our country. And yes, the word garbage comes back again. He says Omar is garbage, her friends are garbage, and they do nothing but complain. He contrasts America with hell and says they came from places with nothing, yet still complain. It's one of the most direct and controversial attacks he has ever made towards a member of Congress and their community. And he closes by telling them exactly what they should do. He finishes by saying Somali migrants should go back and fix their original country. The room sits in stunned silence before applause erupts. It's a finale loaded with political firepower, a message that resonates with supporters and enrages critics, sealing the moment as one of the most explosive statements of the year. If you want more sharp, high-energy breakdowns of moments that shake the political world, hit like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Global Pulse News. Here we don't just report the headlines, we break down the shockwaves behind them.